We have 7 games left, Chicago Bears fans, and plenty to talk about as the Bears get ready to face the Steelers in Week 12. Who needs to click in this upcoming game for the Bears to keep rolling? Or is this team just a huge fraud? Is Ben Johnson already proving to be the best head coach in Chicago Bears history, or is he being crowned way too soon? Did Ryan Poles make another huge mistake? We dive into this and more. I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On, and with me tonight is my close friend and co-host, Justin Onayemi. This is the Halas Huddle, the podcast that believes, suffers, believes again, suffers again. You know the cycle.
Hey, maybe that cycle's breaking. We can only hope. Hey, we appreciate all the support here on the Halas Huddle. Please like, subscribe, comment. And as we talk about these topics, you see them on the left side. You can skip to the parts you like. We want to hear your opinion on these and keep that conversation going amongst Bears fans. Normally this time of year, Rob, we're already talking draft, but we got a first-place team here. So that being said, you mentioned it in the open. Some people don't want to believe.
Yeah, this is a solo first-place team now. This is not one of those, like, the Bears are tied and they don't have the tiebreaker with the Lions type situation. They are the lead NFC North team. But no one believes in them except for apparently Chicago Bears fans, because so many people, analysts, opposing fans, they're all saying that the Chicago Bears are the most fraudulent team in the NFL. And the biggest thing that they keep citing is their weak schedule to start the year. I'm going to throw it to you in a minute, but I do have to preface this, Justin. What is very frustrating to me is, look, I talked about it in the offseason. Strength of schedule, I think, is a dumb thing for people to hang their hats on. And this is the perfect reason why. Going into the year, they had one of the toughest strengths of schedules. I want to say they were number 3 behind the Lions and someone else. I can't remember. And because of injuries, because, the Commanders aren't the team that everyone thought they were from last year, things change. Strengths of schedules change. So, yeah, look, they played the teams that were on their schedule. They're 7-3. They've won 7 out of their last 8 games.
I don't understand the conversation. I mean, you are your record. You can say that when you're good. You can say that when you're bad. You are your record. You don't know when you're going to play teams. I mean, it's a league where when you play this upcoming game against the Steelers, everyone preseason would have thought that's a very tough game. Rodgers may play. He may not. He may play with a major injury. He may not. Like, that's not in your control. Not to mention, like you said, Bears are in sole possession of first place in a very tough division, and they have been banged up. I mean, to look and see that, like, wow, you're in first place, and you could be adding Jalen Johnson. You could be adding Kyler Gordon. You could be adding TJ Edwards. So I don't understand the conversation. Here's the thing, though. I can think of Bears teams of the past that surprised you with a double-digit win season and went to the playoffs, and it really didn't mean anything because the next year they are back to being meh. To me, you find out how if a team is a fraud if it's 1 year and you're done. I hope they're building something where it's undeniable. They're the team that people always go and just give the respect to. Kind of like the Ravens. Started 1-5 and people still were like, they're a good team. Well, they are. Now they're 5-5. So they're probably a pretty good team. Who the Bears played, by the way. And I don't understand the strength of schedule in such a league where you play so few games. The more you win, you're knocking down the strength of schedule you're being analyzed on. I mean, it's goofy.
Yeah, I want to bring up some stats really quick and throw them at you. And now these are from CHGO. Okay, they put these together. I mean, they're not their stats, but they just kind of compiled it, and it's just something for me to quickly read. But tell me if these things seem like something that can be sustained. Right now, the Chicago Bears rank 2nd in the NFL in rushing offense with 146.6 yards per game. That's DeAndre Swift, that's Kyle Monangai, and that's Caleb Williams, right? And a little bit of DJ Moore.
When the running backs were bad early in the season, pre-bye week, the numbers were still okay because Caleb was running enough.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's sustainable. As bad weather comes, you have a running game. I mean, that's what a good team has. They can't stop the run. I hope you have some stats on that.
Well, I don't have. I'm just
Don't
throwing out
worry.
the good stuff right now.
All
okay?
right. Why they might not be frauds.
Second in rushing. The Bears rank first in takeaways. We also need to say they are first in interceptions. Out of the top 4 players who lead the NFL in interceptions, the Bears have 3 of them.
I'm glad you mentioned interceptions in relation to takeaways, because I think fumble recoveries is a little more random. Like, first of all, forcing it. Obviously, if you have a Charles Tillman on your team, you probably force more than other teams. But in general, the fumble rate is probably pretty standard across the league, and it's whether or not you recover that makes the big difference on takeaways. But with interceptions, that's schematics. That's how you're baiting receivers and baiting quarterbacks, which we know Kevin Byard has done very well this season. That's a skill, not just random luck.
Exactly. That also gives them first in turnover differential, right? I mean, we've been talking about it all year. Bob keeps saying, what's the defensive identity? It's not that they can stop people with, good defense outside of their takeaways. When they don't get the takeaways, bad things happen.
But the other side of that, Rob, is the differential comes from the offense protects the ball. Because that's the thing in like the Commanders game that people want to just say was like random luck. The weather was bad, and I guess that probably did play a role in them fumbling twice. But why didn't the Bears? I mean, I think there was like a mishandle here. I'm trying to remember now. But in general, the Bears have been protective of the ball. I can remember a DeAndre Swift fumble that turned a game. I think it was the Lions game, so a lot of things turned that game. Or it might have been the Vikings. But anyway, he fumbled, and it was like, oh, that really hurt us. How many of those have there been? Not many.
There hasn't been any Eric Kramer. Not Eric
there.
Jeff. I can't think of his first name.
Doug Kramer.
Doug Kramer. Thank you.
We knew it had 4 letters. We knew it had 4 letters.
That's right. That's right. All right, real quick. They are second in defensive third down percentage, so they are stopping teams on third down, which is something that this defense couldn't do in the Eberflus era, right? How many times do we see them get to a third down and it's like it doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 20, the other team just seems to convert. Look, they're 9th, so they're top 10 in points scored. They're 2nd in 10+ yard plays and 5th in 20+ yard plays. So those are those big explosive plays that's coming on the ground and through the air. And then just another thing here, just to point out Caleb Williams' ability to be Mr. Houdini. He ranks 7th in sack percentage. And that includes, look, I know the time to throw, people bring that shit up. He holds the ball too long. Look at his time to throw. Stop looking at that stat. You have to put context with it. Look, last year, yes, bad, right? This year, not bad. It's just that simple.
He leads. I think it's quarterbacks. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there in the league total, regardless of position. But in forcing missed tackles, he leads by a wide margin over all other quarterbacks. And so some of that is his Houdiniism in the pocket. And then, of course, that leads to him having a lot more time to throw. What's disappointing is I'd like to know on those balls that he holds for a while, has it actually led to positive plays other than just not being sacked? Like, I can't think of that many times he's connected on those.
Wait, I actually have something regarding that. Hold on.
If that improves, look out. If that improves, look out. No one will be questioning if they're real or not. Well, people still will.
Here we go. Caleb Williams. I don't know what this is from, so I can't cite what
That's
it's
not a
coming
good start,
from.
Rob.
But per True Media, okay, this is per True Media. Caleb Williams' passes on extended plays have been dropped this season. I'm sorry. 6 of Williams' passes on extended plays have been drops this season, and he's lost a 7.7 EPA as a result. In comparison, the next player in line, okay, number 2 in that ranking is Baker Mayfield.
We have him in fantasy.
We do. He trails by a wide margin with only 3 drops and a 2.2 EPA differential. Like,
dude, Odunze has to be at least 3 of those drops.
Yes, those sideline balls.
I'll throw Komet in there and probably give me I don't know about DJ. Maybe a Luther Burden, but throw an OZ in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying they need to do that collectively. That wasn't meant to be like, look at what Caleb could be. Look at what this team could be if they connect on half of those.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
The stats could be even better. I mean, right now, and I'm not a big PFF grade guy, but he is 10th overall for quarterbacks with a minimum of 175 dropbacks in their PFF grading system. So again, top 10. He's 11th in EPA per dropback. He's 11th in pass EPA. He's 11th in adjusted net yards per attempt. I mean, he is way better than people are giving. He's tied for first with 5 fourth quarter comebacks, tied for first with 5 game-winning drives. I know things aren't great, but in certain areas, but he is doing a great job. He's tied for 8th in interception percentage. His wins per win probably added. This is like per person, right? So it's like an advanced NFL statistic that measures how much a specific play or player has altered their team's chances of winning the game. He is currently tied for 9th. Like, he's doing a good job in most areas. If it was just his receivers would catch the ball when they hit him in the hands. And I don't know if it's just because his ball is just being thrown so fast. And I think it was Aaron Rodgers in the beginning of his career and Brett Favre even think in the beginning of their career, like guys would have a hard time catching it because it was coming so hard and so fast to them. Maybe they just need to adjust. But then the other situation is he does need to hit those damn deep balls, right? Those two, like in that first game, and I know he settled down and calmed down and things got better. But like those two, if he connected on those 2 passes, his stats would have been phenomenal in that game.
Well, and they would have changed the game too.
Correct.
I mean, the DJ Moore one, I think, is a touchdown. That being
I think the Roma Doomsday one was a touchdown.
Well, he would have had to lay out still, probably, is what I was thinking. But a big gain, explosive play, no doubt. And that's only if he caught it, because he's put his hands on some and dropped them. So,
well,
all right.
Let's talk about the guy who's leading the way, the Ben Johnson effect.
Keep winning, and you can't be called a fraud.
That's right. That's right. By the way, the Packers have played pretty much a very similar strength of schedule. So anyone who's watching this as a Packers fan, go look at your strength schedule. Go look at the team's records that you played against. It's very similar. Why? Because the NFC North plays the same damn shit, right? Out of 2-3 games a year. Like, stop.
And if your division is very good, you're going to beat up another division and basically sweep that division, which will alter records quite a bit. But whatever.
By the way, the Eagles, alliance, it's over. It's over. We'll see him in 2 weeks. All right, moving on. The guy who's been here, the guy who's doing a lot to change the culture, a lot to change things. Okay, Tom Thayer was on ESPN with Sylvie and some of the Barstool guys, and Tom Thayer came out and declared Ben Johnson is already the best the best head coach in Chicago Bears history. His phrasing was, look, Mike Ditka was great for 1985. Great for 1985. Ben Johnson, better. Ben Johnson, the best. The things that he's doing. He talks about how he's developing the quarterback. The fact that he's able to make this offensive line scheme run the way that it is. Things that he's doing in the locker room. Things that he's doing on game day. The absolute best. Justin, are we crowning this guy just way too soon?
I'm just laughing because you're comparing him to Mike Ditka.
I didn't.
I'm just saying, well, yes, you're talking about it, but in my mind, Lovie Smith is probably the best coach the Bears have had. And I don't think Ben Johnson is at his level quite yet because it's about the sustained success. That's what I meant. If this team goes 11-6, makes the playoffs, wins a game, I mean, that'd be very impressive. But then if you're Matt Nagy and you did it right away in your first year and then everything goes the wrong way your next 3, then that's not even going to put you in the conversation. But I do think Ben Johnson's a very good coach. I don't think there's a lot he's being compared to, at least in my history of fandom. So is he the best ever? Well, he's headed in the right direction, and the competition isn't too stiff. All right, we're going to put George Halas in this?
So here's where I'm going with it. You took my thunder. How can you not say George Halas? The guy was the coach forever. The team had so much success prior to him.
There were only 4 teams in the league.
Like, I don't care. He dominated. He was a player. He was a coach. He completely, the fact that you can't, you have to put him number one overall at this point, in my opinion. That being said, I understand the Lovie Smith love. I love Lovie Smith as well. I am going to side with Tom Thayer. First of all, Mike Ditka as a coach sucked. Okay. I will say it. Your dad will say, look at him on the show. He could talk for hours about how bad of a coach Mike Ditka was. Mike Ditka was not a good NFL head coach, and it's why he failed everywhere else. And as soon as Buddy Ryan was gone, the team turned to shit. Okay? Look, was he the right coach for 1985? Probably. Just the personality, the city, all that stuff. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that completely. You want to say that, Tom Thayer, go ahead. I will back you 100%. Ben Johnson is way better than Mike Ditka. Way better. So if that's your level, that's your bar, I'm sorry. That's the problem. Lovie Smith, way better than Mike Ditka. Hell, Dave Wanstead, better than Mike Ditka. Okay?
I almost said Wanstead.
Right.
Rob, thank you for shouting out my dad on this, but you said Ditka was the best coach for 85. I know my dad would say he could have coached that team to the Super Bowl.
Probably.
I might have been able to. I was 3.
Let's also be honest. I could have played corner for the Bears over the last few weeks better than some of these people. And I don't understand the shout out by Ben Johnson to Dick McLeod because that guy cannot play corner.
When you said Halas was a player, he was a coach, I'm picturing Bugs Bunny playing every position on the field. Clearly, the league was a bit different, but we have to give him his props. This is the Halas Huddle. So.
It is. But I am going to say I think Ben Johnson is already proving to be a better head coach than Lovie Smith. And I know it's only been 8 games. I just think that what he's doing, the things that I'm seeing from an offensive scheme standpoint, and maybe it's just because it's the flip of the script. And, everything about the NFL is offense. Offense is sexy. Defense isn't. And we're in a new era even already from the Lovie Smith era. Maybe that's part of the recency bias that's kind of playing in my head here. It's also the fact that Ben Johnson was the one coach I wanted.
Here's the reason I think Ben Johnson really quickly has shown he's a good head coach. We already knew what he was as a tactician and as a play caller. But the worry was, as you take over the control of the team, would you still be as good as that? Or would that distract you from being good at the other things? And it certainly has not in the early stages, I would say. And the other thing about him that if you're paying close attention, the actual most impressive thing about Ben Johnson is how he coaches Tuesday through Saturday. And that's how you can tell this dude is for real. Like, he has this locker room. He has people are saying, how can you bring in Gardner Johnson? He's been a hothead. He's bought in already too on a good culture of let's do our job as professionals. Let's take every week as we know this is a league where every team can win every week. So that's why we're going to try to be 1-0 this week. And we're going to do the little things that make it so. So people might want to say they're frauds. We'll see. We'll see this season. We'll see next season, the one after that. And I'm feeling pretty good about the trajectory of this. And that's why I think he could be the best coach we've ever had.
All right, go to the comment section right now. Tell us who you think the best NFL or best coach of the Chicago Bears in all of history has been. Tell me how stupid I am for saying that the coach, Mike Ditka, is that bad. I want to hear it. Go to the comments. Tell us it right now.
If the comments are all Ben Johnson, do we have to change the name of our podcast from Halas Huddle to Johnson
BJ's Huddle?
I don't know. We're going to have to put our minds together here.
Johnson's job site? I don't know. We'll come up with something. That is awful. We'll come up with something way better.
We didn't rehearse. New girl reference.
All right, let's go to the GM position. Look, people are all over the fact that Jake Moody was picked up off of the Chicago Bears practice squad by the Washington Commanders. He played 2 games for the Chicago Bears. He went 8 for 9 during that time. Got a game-winning field goal, got a game ball while he was here. And people are mad that the Commanders now have this, big-legged, pretty young, he's only been in the league for 3 years, kicker. And they want, these fans are calling for Ryan Poles' head again, saying how bad this is. Why did you have a player that, is never even going to dress on the active roster? Couldn't you have taken a Jahade Walker and just, moved him back and forth from the practice squad a few times and kept him on the – no one's going after Walker on the practice squad. Keep 2 kickers on the 53-man. Like, that's what they want.
I mean, big picture, long term, probably I'd rather have Moody than Santos. I'll be honest with you. But to just shake things up to protect a kicker that already got cut from another team, who pretty much any team in the league, I believe, could have had, and you signed him. Thankfully, he came through in a very big spot for you, because let's be real. Had that Commanders game not gone the way it went, it would have been kind of shades of last year. Now, I still think this team has shown that they would have recovered based on how they've performed since. But to go over the board here about this, I don't think Chiefs fans are worried about this type of minutia when you have Patrick Mahomes and a team that just year after year after year, is going to be, well, maybe except this year, but they're going to be right there in the conversation. And for me to say that, it's not me necessarily saying that's what we're looking at with the Bears, but that's what the previous question was just about. If this is like the real deal coach, he's going to bring his team to the success that's coming, regardless of if you have Jake Moody on your roster. I mean, we knew him being on the practice squad, this was a possibility. A team took him. Move on.
Yeah, so the Commanders dropped Matt Gay, who was supposed to be like one of this like great kickers, right? That was drafted a couple of years ago. Might have been the year after, or maybe even the same year that Moody came out. Look, you're trying to find your Brandon Aubreys of the NFL, right? Like that guy, you get anywhere near the 50-yard line and you are pretty much guaranteed to have an opportunity to kick a field goal. I understand that. I have been calling for Cairo Santos's head for the last couple years, right? This was partly a financial decision, and that goes on Ryan Poles to a certain extent, right? I think he would have cost them like $4 million to cut right now. Here's the thing, though. Over the last 3 years, Santos is 18 of 22 from 50-plus yards, okay? That's an 81.8% accuracy percentage, right? Jake Moody is 6 of 12. That's only 50%. And I know here's where the difference lies. And Bob, if he was here, would be like, Rob, the context matters. And he'd put this in our chat. Get to that 55-yard mark and see what happens. And this is where it does change, because Cairo Santos is 0 for 6 from 55 yards and longer. Okay. I don't have Moody stats in front of me, but I know it's better than 0 and 6. Here's the other thing, though. I don't have the stats in front of me again. I want to say in the last, I could be misquoting this. So someone go in the comments and tell me I'm an idiot and put the actual stats out there. I'm sure Dr. Truth will, because he likes to do those fact checks. I love it. There's been like 3 kicks of over 55 yards in Soldier Field. It's not an easy field to kick in, right? By the time the Bears get into the new stadium in Arlington Heights, Cairo Santos will not be on this team. He's 36, 37 years old?
34, I think.
34? Okay. He is not going to be on this team when they get to that stadium in 2032? It's not going to happen. Jake Moody, I don't have a problem with Jake Moody, and I like the idea of bringing him in. It was the right move at the time. The accuracy, though, look, he was 13 of 21 from between the 40 to 49 range in the last 3 years. That's a 61.9%. Compare that to Santos, who was 72%. My thing is, I am going to take accuracy right now with a team that has been going between the 20s pretty easily. Just can't seem to get in the end zone. It's very rare that they're kicking these far, far field goals. I understand people are going to say, what about Cody Parkey? And are we going to have a Cody Parkey situation should the Bears make the playoffs and they're going to be one and done? I understand that. I don't want Santos in the future. I'm not advocating for Santos to stay. Go get yourself a Brandon Aubrey. Jake Moody is not that guy.
So there's another piece of context you're missing. Santos's accuracy has been pretty good, even with the numbers you gave of over 50 yards. But the question you have to also ask, and definitely I don't have the numbers, but how many field goals did you not attempt because you had Santos as your kicker? And he didn't miss it, but you couldn't even attempt it. There have been a few of those.
Oh,
and certainly, like you just said, 55 plus, he's 0 for 6. You have guys making them from there where teams are like, we're good. And the Bears wouldn't even consider that. Whether they're inside, outside, sunny day, windy day, they'll probably just say, we better go for it here. Which, in most of those situations, I would tend to agree. But like you said, at some point you're playing indoors and you got a guy that hits them from 60. It's a nice thing to have in your toolbox.
Yeah, he's not a weapon. They need to find a weapon. I'm just not that broken up about it, and I don't think this is an issue on Ryan Poles. You can be mad at him for other things. I just don't think this is it. All right, this kind of ties into the first one. This will be kind of quick, but let's talk about the Chicago Bears right now. They are 7-3. They are no longer in the hunt. They are on the graphic. They are being hunted. They are third in the NFC. That is insane. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be the 3 seed. The Packers would be the 6 seed, and they would be playing each other in the wild card round. Who wants that? I want that. Let's go.
It's kind of shocking of what you said. You showed a stat to me before, Rob, where it breaks down the Bears' chances of making the playoffs. And it broke it down by like chance of being the 1 seed, chance of winning their division. And like to be the 1 seed was less than 1%.
Yes.
And here's my question. If they win this Sunday against the Steelers, they're 8-3. Their next game is against the Eagles. Now, the Eagles, again, going back to an earlier part of our conversation, they've been a team that have been consistent contenders for a while. And there is a due respect that you give a team like that. But they don't look like a team that you just cannot beat. Not to mention you're playing on Black Friday, which makes it a short week for both teams. And that could come down to, coaching and things like that. Now, they have a good staff over there. That's why they're one of those teams that's always in it. But it's not unheard of that the Bears could win that game. Now, you win against them. Don't you think your chances of being the 1 seed are a lot higher? The nice thing about where they sit, they're in first, as you've mentioned. You still have 3 division games. I mean, you hold a lot of your own fate in your own hands. And week 18 is Detroit coming here. Wow. Can you imagine if that comes down to the division or something like that? From division winner, maybe all the way to a 5 seed?
I honestly sure hope so.
That'd be lovely.
That would be absolutely fantastic.
Or you've clinched already.
That would be even better, to be honest. Real quick, less than 1% to be the number 1 seed, 14% to host a wild card game, 32% to be a wild card team, and 53% chance of not even making the playoffs. So it's real interesting. And this is per The Athletic.
That feels unlikely, but hey, that goes all the way up to the first topic. Like you said, people still think they're frauds.
Yeah. I mean, we list off so many stats. It's sustainable to me. I mean, they're a team that's finding ways to win. They're in games late. They find ways to come back. Their
quarterback doesn't turn over the ball.
Yeah. Like the turnover differential to me is huge.
Not taking negative plays.
Like here. Okay. This is what I wanted to do.
Teams, Rob. Special teams has not been special. You got to clean that up if you want to be beating good teams.
True. But at the same time, there's been a couple games where special teams helped you win. You won the Raiders game because of a blocked kick, right?
Yeah.
Devin Duvernay set up that field goal in this last game.
You're calling out the highlights.
I mean, I know, but it's like random people just somehow helped this team win. All right, real quick. 7 games. They have the Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers again, 49ers, Lions. Right now they have 7. They're 7-3. Justin, putting you on the hot seat. What's their final record? I will say as a collective, prior to the season even starting, we had them winning 10 games. Bob had them winning 11. I think you had them winning 10.
I had them winning 11. I had them winning 11, I thought.
Oh, was he 12?
No, maybe I was 10.
Both ended up with 11?
Maybe I was 10.
I think you were 10. I was 9-8.
Roll the tape back. But, you are putting me on the spot. Okay. 10. I think 11.
Exactly. If you go 3-4, you have 10 wins. That's got to be a wild card team, right? Like it just has to be. And because look, I know their division wins haven't been there. They're now 1-2, right? But in the NFC, They're winning, and that is also part of tiebreakers.
They're the favorite this week, correct?
I haven't seen it, but probably.
I believe they're favored. I believe they're favored right now, and that's obviously probably taking into consideration that Aaron Rodgers' injury status is questionable.
Yeah, we'll quickly talk about injuries. We're going to blow through it.
We'll go through that quick. But my point is, you're a favorite to win this week. If you win this week and you're 8-3, now you only have to go 2-4 to have 10 wins.
Yeah.
And if you back into the playoffs at 10 wins and you're 2 and you're 4 in your last 6, yeah, people are not going to buy into you too much. But let's just see.
I mean, we got to let it play out. But I mean, I see them having a chance to win this week. They clearly can beat the Browns. I can see them beating the 49ers. I can see them splitting with the Packers.
And all those games you're mentioning a little bit later are going to look a lot better based on this Halas health check we've been hearing about.
Yeah, so let's just really quick. I mean, the big news here, like huge news for the Chicago Bears. Let's talk Bears. Huge news for the Chicago Bears. Jalen Johnson was given the 21-day window last week, meaning he should be back by the Packers game, if not sooner. Now, Kyler Gordon was at practice today. He gets the 21-day window, so he would be the game after the Packers game, if my math is correct. So that would be the Browns, but again, could come back sooner. Insider Gary Ross thinks it's going to be sooner. I'm not going to tell you what he said exactly because I don't want to get him in trouble, but he thinks it's going to be sooner. Look, my thing is I don't think it should be this weekend no matter what. I think you wait for that Eagles game. If both of them could be back, that Eagles game would be huge if both of them could return. But the Packers game for sure. The reason I don't think they should come back this week is you already said it. The Eagles game would be a short week, right? I don't want that for a team, get two guys coming off an injury that hasn't been able to be healthy. I just want to see, and TJ Edwards should be coming back because he wasn't even put on IR, right? So if you get all three of those guys back, we haven't even seen that this year.
Yeah, I mean, they could be adding reinforcements at the exact right time, but you just hope that these guys are coming back as healthy as possible. There were a couple names on the injury report that were surprising to me. Tremaine Edmonds now dealing with something. We already knew Noah Sewell, so your top three linebackers all did not practice today. However, I'm not that worried about Edmonds playing. I don't know about you.
No. So I will put this out there. Like Gary has been saying this for weeks. When it comes to Ben Johnson, Wednesday is usually a rest day for a lot of these guys. So they come up with things that, everybody's banged up. No one's 100%. So they come up with things, put the DNP on them, and they get their like little rest. We'll probably see tomorrow, Thursday. It's usually the day that Joe Tooney gets his rest day, right? So he'll probably be tomorrow. Look, Tyreek Stevenson was a limited participant today. That's big news to me because, look, he was the one that left the game last week. That one was concerning, but you got Brisker with his shoulder. He played the rest of the game, but he was banged up. So we'll have to see how those things play out, but I'm not overly concerned about any of these guys on here at this point outside of Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, and TJ Edwards. Those three for sure I don't think are going to play. But again, I'll throw in Brisker a little bit, and I'll throw in Tyreek Stevenson a little bit as well. On the flip side, though, the big name obviously is going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's got that left wrist fracture. They're saying that he could potentially play. The big thing for him is he says he has to be able to protect himself. So let's see how that plays out. Outside of that, they had some guys with rest days as well. Alex Highsmith has a pectoral injury. He didn't practice. Cole Holcomb, he's got an illness. Jalen Warren's been dealing with an ankle. He didn't practice. Darius Slay was a full participant coming off a concussion. So, they have some names dealing with some things too, but I think they're going to be relatively healthy outside of the Aaron Rodgers situation. And who knows what could happen there. I'm not scared of Mason Rudolph. And to be honest, I'm not scared of Aaron Rodgers. He has not played well the last 3 weeks.
No, it's not that I'm scared of Aaron Rodgers. It's just that it'd be fun to beat him.
Yes.
But I don't care who they're playing against. Just go out and win a game. Do it the right way. Keep your run game going. Keep forcing turnovers. Maybe generate some pressure on whoever their quarterback is. Now, that's not something they've been too good at, but I'll tell you what, I like Kyler Gordon in that role. I am a little curious because CJ Gardner-Johnson has come on strong and is playing a bit of that role. But that lets Dennis Allen get creative, and I'm here for that. So
100%.
All right.
Who do you got this week, Justin? Look, this is again that pick to click. We're going to call out a name. We want this player to play well. He's going to be the key to potentially winning this game, and I'm not picking Devin Duvernay.
I was going to go with a really easy, obvious one. I almost don't know if it's within the rules and go with Caleb Williams, but
that's in the rules.
Rather than that, I think he's going to have a good game. So rather than that, I'm down to 2 of his main targets. I'm going to go with Rome Odunze. He's been a little quiet the last couple weeks. I know he was dealing with a heel injury and probably was playing a role in some of this. But I think it's time for him to have another bounce back type of game. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think the Steelers have given up some points to wide receivers from like a fantasy perspective. So it's a time for Odunze to have a big game. So he's my pick to click.
All right. I am going to go with a collective. Look, the Chicago Bears have shown the identity as they are a run-first team. They're a run-first team, set up play action, get Caleb Williams some easy targets, hopefully. The Steelers have actually been fairly decent against the run. I'm going to do a collective of I need Kyler Monungai, DeAndre Swift, no Travis Homer. Get him the F out of here. I don't want to see him carry the football again. I need those 2 guys to really bring it this week. This is going to be a hard-fought game here in Chicago. Probably going to be a little bit colder. This is good. This is the way to set up winning football. Run the ball, the Ben Johnson way. Set up your passing. It's got to be about those 2 running backs.
When we said we didn't set up rules, and you said I'm going with a collective here, the way you were talking, I thought you were going to pick the O-line.
I mean, they're important too.
That'd be an interesting pick to click. Now I noticed Trapillo's been getting in a lot more to be that jumbo set. They're even putting him in motion, making him an eligible receiver. So I'm sure trying to at least get teams to think there could be some trickery coming. But you can tell when they want to, really pound the ball, and they're bringing him in as a extra lineman. So keep an eye on that, I guess. Not my pick to click.
No, not our pick to click. Now, we do have DK Metcalf, right? So we do want at least a little bit of yardage for him. He doesn't need to get in the end zone.
No, it's fine. I was fine when Jordan Addison dropped an easy touchdown.
Yeah, no. Look, 180 yards and no touchdowns for the Steelers. It's just they turn it over in the red zone every single time.
Jordan Addison was nearly shut out, and I would have been fine with it. He did end up catching that touchdown, which helped us a bit. But
yeah,
Bears dubs. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. That is all that matters. Guys, hit the comment section. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button. We are going to be here for the rest of the year. I know I have a vacation coming up that might throw some things into the wrenches here, but with the 3 of us, we will get through this.
Should we be looking at the draft and where the Bears might be picked? Oh, wait, sorry. I'm just used to.
This is usually when we're doing our off-season prep.
I know. I'm already looking at prospects.
Mock off-season. It was always the beginning of December.
Not this year, fella.
No, not this year. But I am starting my draft prep as soon as I get back from vacation, middle of December. Right. So we'll be ready to rock and roll for next year.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, get the comment section. Until next week, bear down, claws up. Justin's thing, I'm doing it too. Ready, break.